Here we go.
You're tuning in to Will Love Listen. Now listen.
Kristin Key, it's a pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you for joining me. I know you're on the road right now. You have a bunch of shows coming up, so I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is the tour that never ends, but it's so fun. Why would you want it to?
Yeah, right. When did it start, technically?
Officially, this year's tour is called the Camp Kristin Tour. Last year's was called the Lesbian Army Tour, but there was literally, I believe, 2.5 weeks between the two of them. So
Wow.
it officially kicked off, I believe, in January of 2024 and just has not really stopped.
That's good though, because that momentum.
Oh,
More
so fun. And I keep being surprised by how many like awesome, supportive, inclusive people come to the shows and keep selling out venues. In my head I grew up in a gay community that was so small and I felt so isolated when I came out in, small town Texas that still to this day, I'm surprised there's so many of us and that our community is so big. So it's really, really refreshing to see my community everywhere I go.
Yeah, it really is refreshing to see, especially like I feel like people are so polarized today.
Mm.
Um, so like it's good to see that support. But I there's so much I want to talk to you about, but now that you brought that up, I kind of want to go back and I want to like learn for people who don't know about your early years. Like,
Okay.
where did you grow up? How was life growing up for you? And when did you decide, well, both when did you come out and when did you decide that you wanted to work in this industry?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm an evangelical Christian minister's daughter, and both of my grandfathers were also ministers, and so was my uncle. So everybody, it was a very religious family, with the Church of Christ, which, as evangelical religions go, is one of the most conservative. We didn't have women having leadership roles in our church, no dancing, no instrumental music, that kind of stuff. Very, 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 very conservative. And so I came out of the closet about 16 when I met my first lesbian in high school. That's all it took. I just needed to, I was like, oh, that's such a no-brainer. That's what I am. Duh.
Yeah.
And since we didn't really talk about lesbians at church, I didn't know it was going to go so poorly. I just thought it would just be like, oh, like I thought they would be learning about lesbians too. They'd already heard the good news about lesbians. But it wasn't good news to them. So anyway, I came out at 16 and I lost all of my friends from church, and I was told not to come back to like church camp and all my church things. I was told not to come to church, and I moved out of the house, dropped out of high school, and was like trying to figure things out at 16. And it was an impossible situation. And so after about 3 years of that, I went back in the closet, and that's where I stayed until I was 35. I started stand up around 19 because I wanted to be able to say something, even though I couldn't say what I wanted to. I needed to at least have a voice, even if it couldn't say what I just wanted to. Plus, what do you have to lose? I mean, I drank a lot, I smoked a lot of pot, and I started doing stand up because who gives a shit? God doesn't love me. Not a great reason to start. Like, why do you want to be a comedian, little girl? Because God doesn't love me and I'm about to kill myself. And
Oh
so,
my God. Well,
yeah,
you say like a lot of comedians, one, have been through a lot of trauma, and two, it's like an outlet for a lot of pain, comedy in and of itself.
right, right. And it makes you feel like you're seen when you're invisible everywhere else. At least you're seen, even if it's not for who you really are. You get to be kind of a version of yourself that you wish you were. And so at the time, that version was straight lady with a leather jacket who swore a lot. And I'm sure that anybody watching was just like, why is that lesbian talking about guys? But I didn't know anyway. And so that's how life went until I was finally able to like come out of the closet at 35. I got sober soon after. And then after that, that was when it was like, well, now I can be a part of this community, because um, literally my community kept me alive through all those years. When I was a young gay kid at 16, came out of the closet, it was the old lesbians that protected me, that told me I was valued and loved and that I could be something, and they were visible and they had jobs. Like I knew a detective woman that was a lesbian, and I'm like, she could, she's a business lady, not a business lady, she's a detective, and so I got to at least see people that survived when in my mind there was no hope. And so thank God for old lesbians that kept me alive until I was ready to finally join my community. And now I can help.
Yes, really. Well, that's you have such a unique story. So
Yay.
I mean, there's so many facets to it that we could like so I mean honestly your story is perfect for comedy because it's just for every reason in and
We
of
could
itself.
rabbit hole so many different parts of it because I feel like I've gotten to live, I mean, through religious trauma, through sobriety, through in the closet, out of the closet. I'm like a cat and I've lived so many different lives so far.
Yeah,
uh
yeah, and I want to get into all of it, quite frankly. So, first of all, you come out, you grow up very religious, and then you realize, like, there's same-sex attraction. You don't think anything's wrong with it, like most people do when they're
no.
young and they figure
Yeah.
it out. Then you come out, and there's a lot of personal backlash, and you're
Yes.
like, oh shit. Now, how did you manage to go back in the closet? Like,
Oh yeah, I just put on a necklace.
Was there like what was involved? Was it like some conversion therapy shit? Did you just or your family and people at the church giving you a hard time that you just decided, you know what, it's a phase? Like how did you go about it, really?
That's kind of what it was. It's like I was out for the high school years and then I was living on my own and I was living with like in a very abusive relationship and I wanted out of that relationship. And so the only place I had left to go was home. And the only way to go home was straight. And so I just started, I would say dating guys. I was not dating them. I was just recklessly hooking up with guys to try to prove that I was straight. And so that's how I went home. Was like, I would say I was a slut for Jesus because I was just I was just trying to be this, like, how hard could it be to be a straight lady? I can do this, being gay was very difficult for me. So I will just, buck up and be a straight lady. And so, I think there was even a time when I tried to go back to church and they asked me if I would like at our church there was this thing where like if you've sinned you have to come forward and like say it and come to the front row. And I
Oh,
was like, I mean, there was like part of me that was like, I want this church family back and my family, but I don't want to do that. So I was like, I wrote like a prepared speech. My dad's a minister. I was like, just read this. And I would never say, I'm sorry for being gay. I've just said there's things that I'm sorry for. And like a politician, I tried to like, but then doing that, I was so resentful at the fact that I had to, that I didn't want to go to church anymore. So I was very, very, it was, I think around then that I just stopped going and started like doing road comedy.
wow. So you were out what from 16 to 19 and then you
Yeah.
went back in. And
Yeah.
so did your parents kick you out or did they just drive you out?
I think it was like I left, but also because I couldn't be gay at home. So there was never like if you're gonna not under my roof, it was more like it was more unspoken than spoken. Because I'll never say that they weren't cruel. They were just unwelcoming of homosexuality. They were intolerant, because that's how the religion is. And there was no education about it, or there was no there was just they did not know how to handle it. And so the only way was no, no, you're not gay, or this can't be, or you know
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, I like kind of relate to you in a way because like I grew up very like I grew up Catholic, but I grew up like very spiritual and like somewhat religious, even though my family wasn't religious. My mother was more religious. So I grew up religious and like very spiritual. I realized I was gay in high school. But I went to like a rough high school because my town didn't have a high school, so you have to go to the county high
Oh
school.
wow.
So it was like a city high school. So I was picked on for being gay before I came out. So I kind of had to like rough it out, like I
Right.
had to like defend myself and I got into a couple fights or whatever. And the way I came out, it's so funny. The magazine I write for now, they used to do like these competitions in the summer. Like they would give like the July cover for anyone who got the most votes online for this competition.
Oh wow.
So I submitted myself, and two of my friends who knew were helping me get votes. And it was like 12 hours before the contest ended, and I was in the lead. So I sent an email to all my family, like family friends, and a couple friends saying, please vote for me. And they saw it was a gay magazine. And I was like, oh, by the way, they knew I was gay and that was my way of coming out. And I figured, you know what? I'm coming out. I'm going to win and get this cover. All's going to be good in the hood. Fast forward 12 hours later, the guy who was in second place got like 40 votes or some small amount, ended up winning. So I prematurely outed myself. I got no fucking cover. And I won no contest and I had to deal with this now.
Oh, now you're just gay, but without a local magazine cover, which would have
Yeah,
somehow softened the blow.
it would have. Yeah, because but so now I felt double embarrassed
Oh,
but I went through like such a rough time coming out, which I didn't expect initially because my parents they had like gay friends growing up, but my mother was just very overprotective. Like she
yeah,
like I was gonna get involved with someone or get involved with like drugs or like be too promiscuous, which is
sure.
ironic because that ended up being my brother. Um, yeah, 5 years later. But I said this, but they rolled out the red carpet for him. So I don't know what was worse, a tough coming out experience or having him get like such an easy experience. But
Oh
anyway,
my gosh.
but then my
That's so
dad, it was
funny.
rough because my dad's like a huge supporter of me now. But at the time we got into a fight and he was like, who would be proud of a gay son? And that just like, it was like rough. So I see why you went back in the closet because I almost tried to do that myself. And then on top of
Yeah,
it, my first relationship, even though initially like he was great and he was just coming out himself, but that there was a lot of self-loathing going on.
sure.
So then it became honestly abusive. And so I went through like something similar. Like you, I don't know the specifics of what you went through, but it sounds similar. So
You
like I
can't leave.
relate to
You're
you.
trapped is the
Yeah.
thing.
And that
It was an older person than I was. And so it was either live openly in like this apartment with this person or go home to my parents who don't think that being gay is biological, think it's a choice and think that I should choose otherwise. And so really at that age, it's like, and I mean, for the young queer community or any watching this that's young and feels trapped, it gets
yeah.
better the older you get. So whatever you do have to do to survive, do it because it's worth it. And there's a wonderful life on the other side because I mean, I thought about the alternative, the dark answer.
Sure.
And I'm so glad that I didn't because, yes, life was hard for a long time, but this life out and being able to be part of the community and I have a wife and I have a roof over my head that I pay for, it feels so good, especially knowing that I might not have had all this if I would have just listened to people who said that I was unlovable.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that because like that's something else. But did you ever actually attempt suicide or were you just like on the verge?
More self-harm than suicide. And also, I mean, I'm sober now, but thank God for drugs and alcohol. Honestly, when I was suicidal, I found booze and I found weed, and suddenly I was too drunk to think about killing myself. And so, what a great time to be drunk was just like during closeted self-loathing. Does God even love me time? It's like, well, with enough shots, and stoned, you're just like, oh, never mind. I'm just going to play Mario Kart, So thank God, really.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, obviously, if drugs and alcohol were still working, I'd still be using them. Um, yeah.
Well,
So
like I also think when you're forcing yourself to have sex with people you're not actually attracted to, you're probably numbing the pain with drugs and alcohol.
right,
Yeah, and
it
I see
definitely
people do
helps.
a lot of
Yes.
people are still doing it today, like people that are in the closet. And
Yeah.
those same people either have some sort of vice, like it's either alcohol, it's either drugs, it's gambling, it's something
Right.
to numb like having to deal with their fake life.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, living inauthentically hurts. It hurts like whatever, if it's a soul or whatever, the essence of yourself being inauthentic, it's painful emotionally. And so, like I said though, if you're in danger, do what you have to do to survive and get to the other side where you could be your authentic self. If it's not safe. I mean, I'm a very big proponent for just survive whatever you're in at all costs and then figure out how to live healthy later, you know.
Yeah. And then on top of it, you were like, it's so my first relationship, it was abusive, but the first half of it was really fun because it was like our firsts and we were like
Yeah.
in age. And then, but it was just hard even after that because I felt like it was just so, I just felt like I was very treated differently by my family for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, like there really was no reason. I had I was just ostracized, and I felt like I just, no matter what I did, it was just, you know what I mean? I was looked at differently. So that led to me getting involved. I just wanted to move out, which I didn't, but I thought I was going to move out with this guy who was like 20 years older,
Yeah.
and that ended up being really abusive relationship, and then he stalked me for like a year. Um, and I found out he had a giant cocaine problem, and then thought I could fix it, young and dumb in your
Of
20s.
course, of
You
course.
think
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
you could fix it, and I couldn't fix it. He ended up stalking me, and then people thought, how could you be involved with so much older? You must also do coke, which I never did. So
Good for you.
it just kept on getting fucking worse for me. And I give you props because trying to be involved in an abusive relationship, especially with someone that your league's above, which it sounds clearly was your case, is just that's even worse. So I feel your pain there too.
It was just it's I don't know. It I can't believe it happened. I can't believe it's my life. I can't believe looking back on it that that's, like living as a scavenger was like not, you know, I used to look back and be like, oh man, you're a horrible person because you did things like this. It's like, oh no, I was literally scavenging to survive. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace
Yeah,
and
exactly.
say, now looking back, like if it were a different 16-year-old kid living away from their parents, yeah, girl, just take care of you. You didn't do anything wrong. You were the victim of that situation. So,
Was the older person you involved with, did they ever borrow money from you that you didn't get back?
oh, we hear what's funny. Okay.
Because
I mean,
that's what happened to me.
I
Well,
was I
among
was
the
working
other
so
shit
that
like
they
death
could be
threats,
unemployed. Yeah, I was
fucking
working so she didn't have to. But anyway, I was 16. We don't know any better when we're young.
I
And so
know.
and we have savior complexes because we don't know how to say ourselves. This is a whole different therapy session.
That's a good point, though. You touched on a good point, having a savior complex and trying to save people because you can't save yourself.
Right, right.
That's
Yeah.
very common.
Yeah, we do that. Hang on,
Oh,
I was just making sure I've made a therapy appointment and I forgot what time it was. And I was like, oh, speaking of savior complexes, was it today? No, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow at 3. Okay.
I'm glad our conversation reminded you of that appointment.
No, the minute I said savior complex, I'm like, my therapist is to make sure I wasn't supposed to be there right now because that's
But
happened before.
this conversation is probably saving people from some therapy, the way we're breaking it down, because we both clearly had savior complexes and are like our givers because we couldn't fix ourselves. So we
Right.
tried fixing people that took advantage of us and
Oh,
hurt.
sure. Well,
So
yeah, and that's what I mean, that was my pattern too. Is just like find someone that's worse off than I am so I can feel better about myself. Like especially like the worse my drinking got. Then when I was like secretly gay, I would date women that were more drunk or more on drugs than I was and be like, "Good, look at you. How dare you? Look at you, you tweaker." It's like I'm just a run-of-the-mill alcoholic, whatever. So anyway, yes.
ay, 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 shit. That sometimes you gotta learn, but
It's fun. Yeah, on this side of life, it's okay. It's I don't know. It's weird to look back, but at least it's just like it is my life. I lived it. I was in this body at that time. I did all those things. I cannot deny that. But it is like night and day different now that I'm like sober and out and
I'm
happy.
glad you're so like vocal and you talk about it. And I'm glad we're talking about it today so that people know to do as we say, not as we did.
Right. Or if you're doing as we did, just know that there is a solution and there's like things that you can do to get help. You do not have to live like that forever if you don't choose to.
So during that time period, now you're when you went back into the closet, but then you got into comedy. So we're talking like circa you're 19 to
Yeah.
35.
Yeah, 19 to 35. I was professionally in the closet, so I didn't talk about being gay on stage. I dated girls, like in my circle, my friends knew, but my family, we didn't talk about it. So it was back into the is she, isn't she? So we just didn't talk about don't ask, don't tell my family, and never talk about it on stage for those years. So 15 years.
Did you find that your career got better after you came out?
Oh my God, night and day different. I have a career because I came out of the closet. Because whereas like I could play comedy clubs, I can write jokes, but having no actual perspective is limiting in a world where you are so transparent and vulnerable on stage. It's nice to be able to, because there was so many things I was self-censoring, not just being gay, but like anything that I thought made me look gay. So I wouldn't talk about, like, I like to craft and crochet, and I did end up doing jokes about it after I came out. Wouldn't do it before I came out. I wouldn't talk about relationships. I wouldn't talk about my family. I wouldn't talk about anything that I thought maybe could put me in the gay category. And so I was just self-censoring everything. My whole act for all those years was just a caricature of what I thought I should look like. And then all of a sudden when I came out, all of my material started being, oh my gosh, well, who am I? And so I got to rediscover myself, my art form, what comedy meant to me. Like stuff that was hard for me to process ended up being funny. The more I said it on stage, I learned how to say the word lesbian without thinking, because I always thought it was a 4-letter word. I just thought it was anytime I had a joke that I was doing in did cruise ships for a long time. And so I had a family friendly set. And I would tell my wife, I'm like, oh, I have to take this joke out. She's like, why? I was like, oh, it says lesbian. She goes, babe, that's not a bad word. You can say that in front of children. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so brainwashed to think that the word lesbian is dirty.
Yeah, that
And
was a
it's not.
yeah.
Yeah. So I've said it so many times. It's like the F word in a Tarantino movie. I say it so many times. You better be desensitized to it by the time you're done with my set. Yeah.
That's good. And I figured like your career took off like right after you came out, and that now you could just be, especially because it's comedy, people see when you're like holding back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Now it's like, I can be really, really honest and kind of write whatever's happening in my life. I think even the first few years after I came out, I was still trying to find that balance of who am I, what's, and the idea of what's too gay. And I don't want to lose a mainstream audience and all these things that I had in my head about like what you're supposed to look like as a comedian. And honestly, it was a pandemic that got me to stop thinking like that, because when we all went online and now I don't have audiences and all my shows happen on a Zoom screen, and I was doing shows like that, I'd have to stare at myself the whole time I'm performing. And after I was like, you phony bitch, like just talk about the shit. And so I changed the way I fix my hair. I changed the fact I wear glasses. I'm like, just little things about my style, but also just the way I tell material. I can't look at myself performing material and go, you I can't sign off on that because I'm having to watch myself do it. So it changed the way I do material. And so when I came out of pandemic, I was a lot gayer and less apologetic about it.
yeah, which people like, which people like. I like it, like all comedy fans like it. And then your following like has been increasing, obviously.
Yeah. I
You
found
know,
my lesbian army. Like
yeah, you
I
did.
found and
And they're
the
loyal.
all the branches within it. Yeah. It's like I always say lesbianism is not a gender, it's a vibe, because we have men and women and the trans community and all kinds of people from all kinds of different walks of life want to identify as lesbian army members. And I'm like, absolutely. This is a very inclusive space. It's just people with a good sense of humor that want to belong.
Yeah. Yeah. And now look at you. You're touring like straight for the past year and a half.
Yeah, yeah. We're on the tour that never ends, but it's everywhere I go. It's the best audiences ever. So it's hard to say no, to places that usually I would be like, well, why would I go to? I mean, I always use Des Moines, Iowa as the example, because whenever people talk like, where are you going next? Des Moines. You're like, oh, I'm like, wait, but it's the best. It's the lesbians of Des Moines. It's like the cool, inclusive, it's the people you would want to hang out with in Des Moines are all in one room. So why wouldn't you go? Yeah. Yeah. Why
Yeah.
not Des Moines?
Yeah. Where are your tour is going through when now?
Right now the last date we have, I think, is in December. Maybe we might have just taken one in January, and then that should cut off Camp Kristen, and then hopefully there'll be a little break.
That's great though. That
Yeah.
honestly really is. It's expensive.
It's fun. It's fun. It's nice to also, after I've been doing stand up for 25 years. So I'm still not over the fact that you can look out the calendar and see it full, because there were years where I would have traded my soul for a full calendar, and now having it over full, it's hard to complain, you know.
And just to give you some kudos, you've recorded 6 full-length stand-up comedy albums, one studio music comedy album. Your social media is blown up. You have what, like almost 800K followers now.
I think so.
Um,
Across all yeah, yeah, we're getting there.
you host Kristen Knows Blank, comedy podcast. I want to talk about that. How has that experience been?
Oh my gosh. That started mid-pandemic because I just wanted to hang out with other comedians. So I would have my comedian friends to do a Mad Lib with me. And then I just couldn't stop. And so now this year I've had on some comedians. I've had on a Senator Mallory McMorrow, who's now running for the US Senate. She's a Michigan senator and she's doing some amazing things. She's one of those women from Michigan who's making
Yeah.
good trouble. So yeah, I've had a Margaret Cho came on, Leah
Oh,
Delaria. Like, so yeah, it's crazy how that started with just like, oh, it's a way to hang out with my comedians because I can't be in green rooms. And now it's like, oh wow, I'm getting to interview my heroes and some of the biggest pillars in the queer community and US senators. And so and they all play Mad Libs with me at the end. So how fucking cool is that?
yeah, that really is cool. I love Margaret Cho. I know her publicist really well for years, and she always comes on here. I become friendly with her over the past 10 years. So she was just on here recently. She's
She's
great.
so cool. Yeah, she's amazing.
As a comedian, who are some of your favorite comedians in the game?
When I was coming up, the ones that got me into comedy were the women great. So like Ellen DeGeneres, Paula Poundstone, Rosie O'Donnell, um, Joan Rivers. Those are the ones that I watched, and Carol Burnett, like all these strong women. Today, um, the people that I'll listen to, I love weird and unusual. I love Maria Bamford. She makes me laugh so hard. And then all the queers, Tig Notaro, Fortune Feimster, Wanda Sykes.
Oh,
Um,
that's
I
great.
know that there's men comedians. I just can't think of any of them right now.
But that's great. Some of those people I've interviewed too, like I said, Margaret Cho, Wanda Sykes. I've interviewed Kathy Griffin, Nikki Glazer. So I love my
Oh,
comedy.
Nikki's so good. I remember when I met Nikki when she was like 20. When she was auditioning for Last Comic Standing, like season 5, I think. And she's
Wow.
been adorable, fun, funny since she was like a baby. So it's neat to watch her and like her fucking glow up, but also with her Golden Globe, she's such a hard worker. On top of everything else, she's a great joke writer, but she works her ass off. So it just shows how much effort, if you put in the effort, you get the results.
Yeah,
She's
you
so
do.
good.
It's so impressive to watch her glow up. Uh,
Yeah. She's so
yeah.
hot. Her legs, oh my God. You could bounce quarters off her calves. She's got these runner's legs. I'm just like, oh my God, never show my legs in any pictures ever.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. And the funny thing is during our interview, she was talking about how like she's so insecure on how she looks.
Oh my
And
God.
the more she
Of
blows up,
course.
the
We're
more
women. Of course.
critical she is. I'm
Yeah,
like,
of
girl,
course.
I understood her, but I was like, no, I'm like, fuck what people say online. You
Right.
can't the fuck the trolls, you know?
Yep. Yep. But of course, I mean, it is what it is. That's what it feels like to be a woman. You know, you'll be Nikki Glazer and still insecure.
One thing I do want to know is like, you grew up like you were religious and like did was it difficult to reconcile your faith with being lesbian because of the way you were treated? And
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm still healing religious trauma. This year, the Camp Kristen tour is like delves more into what it was like growing up religious. And I think it's really fun to get to explore that with an audience who a lot of us did the same thing. A lot of us were like happy church kids that were told we can't have that. And so then you have to go, well, do I even like it? That's stupid. Jesus stuff is stupid. And there's a part of you that still like wants to sing church hymns when you're by yourself. So it's a weird um like having something and then going, you cannot take something away from me unless I let you. And so now like I'm not a religious person, but I'm very spiritual. And I still love the music and I love the fellowship. Um, but maybe not necessarily with quote unquote Christians. Um, I just love the idea of being able to participate in something beautiful and wholesome. But like I just did a show in Seattle and I had this band open for me. They're called the Carlisle Family Band. It's Brandy Carlisle's brother, Jay, and
nice.
his 2 kids. And so they have this amazing like 3-part harmony band. And I had them come up during my set and we sang I'll Fly Away together, this wonderful old church hymn. And it was like right in the middle of my lesbian comedy show, we sang this old church song and it was really, really beautiful and fun. And then they went, and they so like healing for me. And they left the stage and went back in and finished my show. And people are like, it's so odd how it just seamlessly flowed from this to that. I'm like, isn't that weird to hear a church hymn in the middle of a lesbian comedian show? And then you don't blink because it seems to belong there
Yeah,
because yeah, I I don't know. It's still a work in progress, but if anybody else is struggling with this, I will say I know exactly where you're coming from, and um, I still like some of the old church stuff. It's still, I don't hate it all. I'm not sad by it, and I can have it if I want to.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Because I it was hard for me to reconcile for a while. Like I started going to an Episcopal church after I came out.
Hmm.
Because they really like everyone's fucking welcome.
My friend's an Episcopalian priest. She's a lesbian. Yeah.
Oh really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, they're all about like prayer and like it's
Yeah.
a more spiritual and they were very welcoming.
Yeah.
And so people need to just know like there's options out there, everything's not black and white.
Yeah, and explore. I mean, honestly, I'm in recovery. And so the recovery program I'm affiliated with is a lot about spirituality and continue to seek some sort of spirituality, but it's not named. And so I think I've probably had my most spiritual growth because of recovery programs, like just saying, oh, you don't have to believe in that God, just believe in something. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone I heard someone say once to someone who was like pushing back, like, "Oh, the God I grew up with hates me, and that's the God I believe in." And someone was like, "Well, you get to choose whatever you believe in. So if you could choose any God in the world, why do you pick the one that's so mean to you? Pick a different one." I'm like, "What a great idea! If you get to choose your own conception of a God, why choose the one that hates you? Just pick a new one that loves you, and then move on."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I went to and still do sometimes. Like I go back, I teeter like I mean I believe in all the Catholic holidays. Obviously, I go to Lent. That's when I'll go to a Catholic church and stuff like that. But
it's
sometimes
beautiful. It smells good.
a
Yeah,
lot of times I'll go to an Episcopal because they really are just so welcoming and
yeah,
they don't give a shit, And it's like look at what's going on today. I mean, like it's just crazy that people sometimes could still make a big deal about like sexuality when
yeah.
like okay, let's talk about human trafficking and what about like the politicians and religious people that are involved with, raping all these kids. Let's, you know what I mean? I think there's a lot
Right.
more pressing sins in the fucking world.
I think it's a distraction. I mean, of course, it's a distraction, and it's why marginalized groups continue to be marginalized. Groups that can't, we don't have the numbers to stand up for ourselves against the norm. Yeah, look at trans people are doing this and that. There's so few trans people in the whole world. They're not doing any of those things
But
for one
what's the
thing.
percentage? Isn't it like something
They're
like,
so low. Yes,
yeah,
1%.
if that,
Yeah,
I thought it was under that, but I
because
mean,
it's like 10% are gay in general. So yeah, 1% or less is trans. And the amount of trans people that have ever been caught causing any sort of mischief in bathrooms other than being like traumatized for trying to go is non-existent.
yeah,
But it's a great distraction from all of these other, look over here while I, make a ton of money and do all these devious things. And like you said, like, participate in trial trafficking and whatnot.
yeah,
But
exactly. It's infuriating, and it's especially
tale as old as time, though. It is. This is what the world is and always has been. So that's the thing I'd like tell the community. We're like, what is going on in the world today? I'm like, it's the same world that's always been. This is the way it's always been. Just now we have social media and we're all, discussing it in real time as it's happening. But it's always been this way. And guess what? Gay people still exist. We will still be gay at the end of the day. Rights or no rights, we're still going to be gay. So we might as well band together, help each other through it, and live one day at a time.
yeah. I
It
just
is what it is.
It's just an attempt to try to like push people back in the closet, which is just, and by the way, I think that percentage of whatever it is, like 10 or 15% of people are like gay, bi, or lesbian. That percentage is way higher.
It's I think so too. Oh my
I
gosh.
think, especially these days, I think, and just from my own personal experiences, like getting hit on like so many people that are like you think they're out, but then you find out that they're not. I just think that percentage is so much higher. And I think a majority of people are bisexual. I don't think it's the same degree.
Agreed. Agreed. And honestly, the fact that Grinder crashes every time there's a Republican National Convention, I mean, come
Yeah,
on. Come on. This is
yeah.
ridiculous. Yes.
But
The numbers are higher. Like just
Grinder crashing during every fucking RNC event kind of proves that why they want to keep everyone in the closet is because
yeah.
it's like a fetish for them. So it won't feel as forbidden if everyone's out. So they want
Jeez.
everyone to be in the closet. It kind of makes sense.
Oppressing an entire generation of people just so you can have a kink. Come on.
Yeah.
This is why we need better laws. We need good legislators. Vote for Mallory McMorrow for Senate in Michigan.
Yeah. But it's true. Like I feel
Yeah.
like most people are bisexual and it just ranges. Like it doesn't mean like everyone's 50-50. I mean, I think there's some like 90-10, there's some
It's
six.
a scale. Yeah, it's a spectrum. Like
Yeah.
the Kinsey studies showed. Yeah. And if you took away people's, whatever, I mean, I don't want to take away people's religion, but I mean I do. I actually do. If you took away all that like kind of
Guilt.
indoctrination, yes, took away the guilt and just let people be who they are, because most of the people that I know, they're like atheists and agnostics, are some of the most like salt of the earth good people. But I was raised in Christianity to believe that all atheists are devil worshiping assholes, and I'm like, oh, all the atheists I know are so much nicer than the Christians I know. So it's weird. That's weird.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
At the end, we're all gonna be dead and gonna be judged by how we lived anyway. So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
like an act isn't gonna do anything.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how it all washes out. We'll see. Maybe there's multiple lives. Maybe I'll get to be a dog next time. They seem to have a pretty good time.
Yeah. My dog does. I don't know about
Oh
you.
my God.
Dog is a
I
fucking
feel like the way I'm a big dog person. Every time dogs see me, they get real excited. I'm like, I must have been a dog in a very like recent past life, because dogs are like, hey. I'm like, you recognize me.
What do you have? I have a like Yorkie.
I have nothing. I travel too much. So I just like I'm that the weird lady that when I'm on a walk and I see a dog, I'm like, can I pick a dog? Or like, I try to Amber Alert people's pets. Yeah. You got a little Yorkie?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're like that big and their tongues are always.
She's actually good. She doesn't have, she's not one of those that have like the tongue hanging out.
Yeah.
Um, but some of them do. The one I grew up with, the family like dog, he had that.
They like lose their teeth and then eventually it just never goes back in their mouth. You're like, ah.
But they have like really like now these days they have like really healthy dog food and these bones that are they build their teeth up.
Aw. I thought you were
So
gonna say like dentures or something. Now they have
oh,
like
no,
they
it's
have
like
veneers, doggy veneers.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I mean they have like healthier things now that like makes dogs' teeth and everything last longer.
That's awesome.
But damn, you have an interesting story. You should write like a book.
Oh man, someday when I get famous enough for people to read it, I'm gonna write the best book.
You really do have a lot. I feel everything we covered, because I know there's more. We're just touching the surface. It could be like a juicy book.
Oh my God, one of these days, I just need I need a boost. I need enough people to read it and then I'll write a book.
Well, I mean, clearly, like you're on the upward with all these fucking tour dates, touring for the past year and a half. And by the end of this tour, it's going to be a full 2 years on the
It'll
road.
be a full 2 years on the road. Yeah. So we're going to see. I always tell my manager whenever she's like, oh, it takes some time for you. I'm like, we're building something. It always feels like we're building something. So let's just keep going while we've got the energy and while the momentum's up. Like, and let's build this thing, because it's not, it's not just like used to it'd be like, just show up and tell some jokes. We got a career. Well, now it's like more like a purpose. We're bringing the community together. We're raising money for nonprofits everywhere we go. And so it's more like, it's like
That's
trying to
admirable.
put something good in the world. So we're trying to, we'll see. We're building a little community
Yeah, you have dates all over your all over. I mean, they just need to go
all
to your
over.
website to see because I'm not even gonna try to read them all. So go to kristinkey.com to see all the dates. I know you're coming up in New Jersey soon. Add more New Jersey dates
Oh, I
because
can't wait. Yeah, it's
yeah.
the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark. That's on April 5th. Yeah. Then April 6th in Brooklyn. And then London, then Dublin, then Amsterdam. Like it's just
Yeah, then
this is the tour
you're in
that
Tulum.
never ends.
You're gonna be in Tulum in May.
Yes. Oh, an Olivia trip with all my lesbians.
Yeah, all these tour dates, and then in the summer you're back in the tri-state area in Connecticut.
Oh, I am.
August,
News to me.
August 10th, Hartford, Connecticut at
Look at
Funny
that.
Bone.
Hartford. I've never played there. This will be fun.
And August 9th at a Funny Bone also, but that's in Albany.
Oh, I love that one. Oh, these ladies last year in Albany gave me this antique U-Haul. It was like this big. It was so hard to get home, but it was so cute.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I want to try to see you on one of these tour dates. Yeah, hopefully, and add more New Jersey dates.
I'm gonna work on that. Yeah, come see me in Newark on Friday. Nope, Saturday. This Saturday. It's coming up.
I know I'm gonna try.
If you do, you stick around, say hi, or come back before the show. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd love to do that. This Saturday, I'm so pissed. Because this Saturday I have like a TV thing going on, so I don't even know if I could make it. But
I understand. It's okay. We're busy. We're busy
if I can't
girls. We
make it,
gotta do
add
our
in a
shit.
New Jersey date just for me.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm trying to think of where I'm gonna go in New Jersey just to add it for you. I'll go to your house. I'll just
Belmont
perform in your
Theater,
bedroom.
Montclair, that's another nice venue. Bergen Pack and Anglewood. All these
Okay.
theaters, there are a lot of them in North Jersey in particular.
I'm gonna put something together. You have the best diners. I'm a diner girl, and Jersey. I told my wife, I was like, we're gonna move to Jersey. She goes, we're not moving to Jersey because she's a West Coast girl. I was
Uh,
like, but they have diners. She's like, everywhere has diners. I was like, not like Jersey. Jersey, there's a diner across from a diner, and they're all run by like people in really expensive suits for some reason. I love a diner.
and some of them are 24 hours too, which is perfect.
That's what I love. You can go get a breakfast any time of day, and
Yeah,
they're
3 in the
very,
morning.
very serious about their diners.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, that's so cool. It's been so fun chatting with you. I'd love to if I could make Saturday, I'll totally let you know so we could like meet
Oh
back.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And make sure if you do, you'd never ever have to get a ticket. Just reach out. We'll make sure and take care of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. Thank you for having me on. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, I love this conversation. When everything comes out, I'll tag you and bother you on everything.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you.
And people go see Kristin on tour, kristinkey.com, KRISTINKEY.com. Follow her on social media, check her out. Uh, love you, Kristin.
Love you back. Thanks for having me on. I'll see you hopefully in person sometime. You get a heart hug.
Yes, yes, for sure. Smile real quick for like a little photo. Thank you.
You are welcome. Is it the good side? Oh
No,
yeah.
you look good.
Okay.
It was a good
Okay.
side. Yeah, you look good. I'm trying to like, do I look good? But you look
Okay, good.
fine.
I've got my beauty filter and I was like, God, my teeth look so white, but I think the filter's on.
I love, by the way, your background with like
Oh, that's
all
not
the
real.
Marvel posters.
Yeah, that is, we could be in a men's room, could be in a sex dungeon. I mean, I got a million of these, but
You have some
yeah.
good backgrounds.
Thanks. Thanks. I use them for I used to do a live show during pandemic. So it's always helpful to
Oh.
have a different place to be. I don't want you to see my room. Well, thank you. It's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, so nice to meet you too.
All right, I'm gonna take off.
All right, have a good one.
You too.